Hello and welcome to the European Tour's Life on Tour podcast presented by Hilton with me, Kirsty Gallacher, bringing you conversations with key figures from around the world of golf. Today we're here at the Ogliata Golf Club in Rome for the Italian Open, and I'm very delighted to say I've been joined by a man who has 20 professional wins under his belt, plus was named 2006 European Tour Player of the Year. It's Paul Casey. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
It's quite an honour, isn't it?
That's a long time ago, wasn't it? 2006.
It's not that long. It's not that.
And apparently I'm a key figure.
You are a key figure. That's why you're here. No, thank you so much for doing this. I mean, let's start from the beginning, if that's all right with you.
It's a long time ago.
I want to hear how you got into golf and where, how it all started. But you were born in Cheltenham, weren't you? But you moved to my neck of the woods, so you moved to Weybridge.
Yes.
How was your childhood? Just give us a little glimpse into your childhood.
Happy childhood. Yeah, born in Cheltenham, so a West Country boy, but very much now a Surrey boy. And look, you never know. Your parents, my parents chose where they wanted to live for work reasons. But I had a really happy childhood. A lot of sport. Older brother, who's 2.5 years older, who was non-athletic, very, very academic. And all I did was play sport all day, and if it wasn't going to be golf, it was going to be tennis or football or rugby or something else. Dad was a very keen athlete. Dad's South African, and played cricket and rugby to a very good level, good club level, so not sort of professional, but had aspirations to be an athlete, and so I guess I just picked up on that.
And how did the golf sort of surpass the other sports? What sort of made you think, yep, I really like this, I'm going to go to the range,
because I was crap eventually I was crap at everything else. When mates of mine were going off for sort of trials with clubs, Chelsea and Arsenal, that sort of stuff, and looking at national squads, or whether that's football or tennis, and I wasn't. And golf was the one thing I was still, I guess, my best sport. Eventually everything else dropped away because of time constraints. And obviously, as a kid, you like winning and not losing, so, and that's still the case now. So I guess it found, was it I actually loved motor racing and still do, and I wanted to be a race driver when I was a kid. So was it I'm not sure it was the one I really wanted to do from a very early age, but it's the one I ended up in just through elimination.
And also Fox Hill's a lovely club.
Yeah.
That was your local club, I suppose. It is a lovely area to live in.
It was,
but I can say that. I know it so well. So I suppose you also enjoyed that time, did you? Where you went down there and spent some time
I spent all day
golf?
at Fox Hills. Parents would drop me off in the summer holidays, before they went to work. And I must say that that was a scholarship I was on. I couldn't afford to be a member of a club like Fox Hills around there. So they ran a scholarship scheme. We were called the Fox Kids. And Anthony Wall was also part of that.
That's right, yeah.
We were given, if we were selected, they ran it for tennis and they ran it for golf. You had 4 years free membership and coaching. And Bernard Hunt was the pro at the time. And so when I was about 11 years old, I became a Fox Kid. And it's through breaks like that, people always sort of talk about these initiatives and, local clubs doing things and coaching. This stuff does work in all aspects of life, giving opportunities to kids. So that was my opportunity, because without that,
you don't get the chance.
You don't get the chance, and because I would play the local little places like Hobridge. Play 9 holes. The old, I guess it's the blue or the red at St George's Hill now. But you could pay your 5-10 quid and go play the 9 holes at St George's Hill, which was epic. Yeah. And Sandown. Yeah. Moor Park. Moor Place in each.
There are so many places, aren't there?
Yeah.
It was great for you as a foundation.
Yes.
To what you then went on to do. Because were you academic? Because you did go to college.
I did, but defining that is difficult because I didn't like school. So, when I went to university in the States, or college as they call it, I remember my first semester, I didn't understand GPA. I still don't really, but it's basically a system of, A is worth sort of 4, straight A's would be 4.0, straight C's would be 2.0, and you've got to be at least a 2.0 to be eligible. My first semester, knowing, you know, sort of an F is a fail kind of thing when you and I were growing up. I ended up with a 1.33 my first semester, totally ineligible, and my coach went bananas. He goes, you know, you've got to be a 2.0.
Really?
And I didn't understand the system, so I went to summer school, got two A's, and then I was off and running. He's like, oh, so you can? He's like, you can study. I was like, yeah, just got to know the system.
So what made you want to go to America? Because you went to Arizona State University, you did a golf scholarship there.
Yes.
What was the key point that you thought, right, I'm off, I'm leaving the UK, and I'm going to go and I'm going to really put my...
you know, at the time, and I got to give credit to English Golf Union and various other established organisations, and it's changing slightly, but there is still, how do you make that jump from sort of junior or amateur golf to the professional game? And at that time for me, you know, the examples would be myself, who went through college system, or Luke Donald and guys like that. Ian Poulter, who went through basically the pro shop system. And I mean, all credit to Ian. He's one of my best mates. It's very difficult to do what he did. Come out of the pro shop and make it on tour. Or you go down almost the Justin Rose route, which is you turn pro very young. And he struggled. I mean,
he did.
The 20-something missed
Took
cuts
a long
in a
time,
row.
didn't it?
So there was no kind of, and still is to this day, it's a difficult transition. And for me, it was like, well, maybe this is the transition that I choose. Plus, anybody, you've probably been out there. You've been out to the States, I know that.
Yeah, my brother went to university, he went to Wake Forest.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Demon Deacons. So, but the weather and everything else and the facilities was so attractive at that time. Again, it was I was on scholarship, parents couldn't afford to pay for it. And it was that, why not? Because you can always leave, turn up, give it a go. But I was totally besotted by sort of, I can't think of a good term, you know, turning up every day and it's beautiful sunshine and cactus and brand new golf balls on the range.
What could be better?
Well, exactly.
But of course, I mean, you did love life there. You still do. We'll talk about your close relationship with United States. I mean, your move to America kick-started your amateur career, obviously. I mean, just tell us about your amateur career, the early days.
Average, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, I won a couple of things, some Surrey Junior stuff.
Three consecutive Pac-12 championships?
Oh, you see, my later amateur career was slightly better than my early amateur career.
Right. Go on, tell us the early bit then.
It was Junior Opens and Surrey County Championships and stuff like that, which was brilliant. Surrey matches. I loved Surrey matches. Wearing our, as we always said, the Surrey strawberry. The Surrey logo in our sort of dodgy sort of red and maroony burgundy sweaters. I loved that stuff, but they got more serious and I got better. The college, without question, it takes it to another level. And so I then came back and I was starting to play in English amateurs and then won 2 English amateurs, 2 straight English amateurs titles. And the college thing, got my head around it. And I was competing week in, week out against, as we've already mentioned, Luke Donald, but Charles Howe, Adam Scott. These were the guys, my friends, who I played week in, week out against these guys. And that really honed my skills. And then tasted success and figured out how to win. And then, I don't know how many wins I had, but as you said, 3 straight Pac-12s.
That's right. You broke the championship scoring record held by Tiger Woods. I mean, that must have been amazing.
20-something.
But these are key moments, aren't they, where, did they spur you on? And think, because it's a hard graft, isn't it? As a golfer. It
is. I've never been one of those, I've never been a guy who knew I was going to make it. I hoped I would, wanted to and hoped, but there was never a certainty in there.
Did you doubt yourself?
Oh yeah, still do.
Even when you look at what you've achieved?
Yeah, I think it's part of what actually keeps me going now. I mean, I'm 42 now, and I still, I don't wake up and bolt upright in the middle of the night and panic, but it's like worrying about things, about my golf game. But yeah, you still, look, this game gives and takes, and you never defeat it, you know that. So it's always that, even tomorrow, I hope tomorrow's round is good. I hope Friday's round is good, and I hope, I hope my driving stays as good as it is, or whatever it is. So I've never been one of those who's been, look, I'm pretty certain of my skills and my ability, but I always hope
Don't take it for granted.
Correct.
So just going back to your amateur days, I mean, was there a key moment where you felt, I'm sort of really sure that I want to turn pro, I'm good enough? Just with what you've just told me.
Yeah, the wanting to turn pro happened very early. The moment where I thought maybe, I've got a shot at this, probably wasn't. Look, I didn't know until I actually turned pro. But I guess the nearest I got to thinking I've really got a good chance of this now was probably something like Walker Cup.
Yeah.
99 Walker Cup. Peter McIlroy, the Ginger Fox, as we still call him. It's more Silver Fox now, but was the captain. Luke Donald was my foursomes partner. I went 4-0.
Yeah.
So did Luke that week. We defeated the Americans by the largest margin we'd ever beaten them by.
Incredible.
Great team. Wolstenholme and Philip Rowe and Paddy Gribbin and there's all kinds of go through it. But it was a great team. And that there, McIlroy had a lot to do with that. I've got to give him credit. I played a World Amateur for him as well, an Eisenhower, which we should have really won. There was illness in the team that week. Steve O'Hara was sick and Jamie Donaldson struggled. Luke was the other guy in the team, and I finished second individually, and we should have won it as a team. But he was such a great. He probably did it with every player. I imagine he did, but he'd pull me aside and give me a little talking to, and in the finger in the chest, sort of pinning you up against the wall. You'd be done nowadays for sort of
Absolutely, no way.
Sort of you are good enough kind of thing. Yeah. You need to start realizing how good you are. Those kinds of little motivational talks, and give him credit. He was certainly a factor in my starting to believe.
Yeah. And the Walker Cup at the team event, how did that give you a taste for team events? Obviously, we'll talk about the Ryder Cup in just a moment. Yeah, it did.
It did, but college golf is very team orientated as well. You've got, typically it's 5 guys who always travel for college golf in the States, and those were some of the most enjoyable times I had on the golf course. So we always understood that the team thing for me has always been
the camaraderie.
Yeah, it's been special. So being able to then play professional, certainly Walker Cup, and any kid who's thinking about Walker Cup, you need to do a Walker Cup because it stays with you. And we still, even now, we're talking about it. It's one of the greatest experiences, greatest moments of any player's career. But then it's amazing the similarities that you play when I've played Seve trophies and obviously Ryder Cups and things like that. They're all the same. It's just maybe it's a different level you're playing against, maybe better players. I would say better players it's just different, but it's the same stuff. The emotions, the Nairn, there was a lot of bottles of Bollinger that were grabbed out of the, I don't know who the champagne sponsor is on the European Tour, but we went from sober to drunk very quickly at Nairn, yes.
Really?
It was brilliant.
Oh my goodness. No,
that stuff stays the same now, you see.
Well, there we are, why not? But I can see how much it sort of means to you. But so moving forward then, you became a pro in 2000, so 19 years ago, nearly 20 years ago, my goodness. Sorry. And it's wonderful. And joined, though, the European Tour in May 2001. How special a moment was that? You'd finally got onto the European Tour as a pro.
Yeah, a lot of thanks to Schofield, because he was the one who gave me sponsors' invites. Again, based off of my amateur career, Walker Cup, a key part of that. Because I had no standing. I'd turned pro late in 2000 and with nowhere to go, missed sort of tour school cut-offs. There was just a moment at college where I said, I've just got to go now.
Really?
Yeah, I left early, I dropped out, but hadn't checked, dates for entering tour schools. So there I was in 2001 with nowhere to play, and Schofield stepped up and gave me a couple of starts. Benson and Hedges, I finished 11th, I think, or something like that. And it was because I didn't make top 10 to get an invite the following week, because the top 10's automatic invite for the following week. My 5th event was Slaley Hall. Would that have been the Great North Open or something? And I finished 5th or something. And that got me a bunch of money, which was enough to then get me sort of unlimited invites. And my 11th event, I won, which was Glen Eagles.
That's right.
So it was all quite quick.
Pressure on you because you were sort of going from invite to invite.
Oh yeah.
What was the pressure like for you? Because
Mega.
you had to perform.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't perform, you didn't get your invite.
Yeah.
And so it was like this kind of, you know,
it's a little easier.
Thing.
It's a little easier that way than like a tour score, which is, you know, you have one bad round and that's it.
Well, of course you're out. Yeah.
Your job's maybe done for another year, another chance. But I knew it was a limited opportunity. It was. Schofield got me maybe sort of 4 or 5 invites that he said, look, I can get you kind of those, but that's going to be kind of it. And so...
Well, you did it. You did it. You did so well. And then 2006 was a brilliant year. You're leader of the European Tour of Merit until Podrick Harrington overtook you in that final event.
Well,
what was that
funny.
like? What was
funny
that experience
if
like?
Sergio makes par on the last, I win the Order of Merit, and he made bogey on the last, so Podrick won. Thanks, Serge. But all my money from the World Match Play didn't count. So I actually won the most amount of money that year. But they couldn't count it because it was £1 million. So it would have been totally skewed. It would be nice to have that title of winning the money list that year, but I was Player of the Year. What was that like? I was I mean, you can't say you weren't.
Yeah.
Season-long race.
You are extremely competitive. I mean, you have to be. But I can hear it in you, yeah. I mean...
I think at the time it matters a lot. It means a lot. And then, you know, the number of years that sort of now have passed, it doesn't...
Yeah.
There are more important things. It doesn't mean I'm less competitive. But I don't cling on to stuff. And it doesn't really, in the great scheme of things, like if we'll talk about, you know, family and life, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. And it was soon after that you rejoined the PGA Tour. Why did you decide to do that?
What year are we talking about
2009,
now?
2009, I believe.
Well, I was my first member of the PGA Tour back in 2004 or something like that. So, having lived in the States from, well, really since I went to university back in January 97, it just made sense. And I've always tried to do both, well, with the exception of about 3-4 years. 2014, end of 2014, I took a hiatus, only because I couldn't do it anymore.
Really?
I was struggling so much out the top 50. Family was just starting. But I've always tried to do both to the best of my ability. So the years you're playing well, so like say 2009 I would have been, I think like 3rd in the world.
Yeah. Well, you won your first PGA tournament, so it was obviously the right decision.
Houston.
You beat JB Holmes. What was that like to have made that decision to win? Then were you like it must have felt pretty euphoric?
Yeah, but at the time, England has had a lot of success now since professional success globally, and certainly in the US the last 10 years. But until that point, not many Englishmen had won in the US. Westwood's won a few times, Faldo, obviously Tony Jacklin if we go back. I'm struggling to think pre-09. People listen to this and be throwing out names that I obviously have missed. But I couldn't think of, and I still can't think obviously of that many Englishmen who'd had tasted a lot of success in the US. So winning in the US is a big deal and still is. 8 of the top 10 were playing that week as well. Trying to think of the guys who weren't there. Tiger wasn't there, but Phil was there and various other people. So it was a good win. It wasn't like it was a opposite field event and week. It was strong, really, really strong. It meant everything. It was just like my first win at Glen Eagles. I beat Alex Jacob by 1 on the last at that Scottish PGA. It was suddenly like this is the dream I've had as a kid, and now I've accomplished it. And you know, people who have set goals, whatever it is in life, who have then managed to obtain them, you know, lofty goals. It's hard to explain. It's incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, but and the thing for you is 2009 was such a big year for you, such a successful year, because you then won at Wentworth.
Yeah, but it was a mixed year because I had 3 victories very early. I won Abu Dhabi, I won I don't know what order, Abu Dhabi, Houston and Wentworth
then
were
Wentworth.
the threes. And then I was injured at the end of the year.
That's right. So it was bittersweet, wasn't it?
It was weird, yeah.
What was that like? How, that was a rib injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, I tore intercostals and internal obliques on the right side.
How did you feel, knowing you, as I do, it must have been extremely difficult to have had all that success, you've got momentum going on, you've won these big events, and then suddenly, I mean, no athlete likes to be injured.
No, but it was the first time I dealt with an injury that was debilitating. All the guys out here have got niggles, and there are things that happen, things that are bugging them. But this was an injury. This is where I tore them to pieces, and I couldn't move.
How did you deal with this?
Because
you couldn't play.
Applaud guys like Beef and various people who've talked, and James Morrison who've talked about their struggles recently. I don't know of many guys who get through an entire career who don't go through ups and downs, and I struggle with that. I struggle with the gloomy side of things. So yeah, I contemplated where my career will go.
Did you worry you wouldn't play again?
Yeah.
Were you told that you might,
No,
did they ever say to you, this could be very debilitating?
The shoulder dislocation was a bigger issue than that.
Just a bit.
I didn't appreciate how long it would take to come back from an injury. I had a good season in 2010. Actually, I had an outside chance. I finished certainly in the top 10 on both money lists in the US and Europe. In fact, I had a chance to technically win both if I'd finished off the season with a victory here or there.
And then you won in Bahrain.
What year was that?
That was 2011. So that was sort of that bookended that injury, that period, I suppose, for you, did it? Was it major relief for you?
There are other things. I went through a divorce about then, so
it was a difficult
if you look
time.
at if anybody pulls up my career in like a world ranking sort of trajectory or pattern, there's a massive drop. I think about probably 2012 or something. It's amazing how I can't remember a lot of stuff, but it's. I'm
reminding you of the dates here. No, quite right. But listen, I mean, the injury to then winning again. You mentioned your divorce there, which obviously it's a difficult time.
It's difficult. Golf is one of those sports where, I think maybe this is true for a lot of things. You can deal with one thing going on. Injury is obviously difficult, but you can deal with one thing, one distraction. When you throw two into the mix, can't do it.
It's the mental part, isn't it?
Yeah. Not only did I go through a divorce, I've always liked other sports, and I've always sort of enjoyed skiing and snowboarding and mountain biking and various other silly stuff. And I literally ripped my shoulder, my arm out of its socket in Vale. And I've got Hill-Sachs lesion, torn labrum, various other issues with my right shoulder, which I've never had surgery on, and they work fantastically well. But that was all together. So divorce and a serious injury. My world rank, I don't know where I went to.
So was this part of the hiatus that you mentioned earlier, that period where you just thought, I've got to have some time out?
No, this was 12, where it was just a complete and utter mess. Didn't want to be on the golf course, depressed, physically couldn't do it anyway, let alone mentally. And then got it back again. So the victory actually,
was in the middle of that.
There was a victory in Ireland, I want to say maybe 2013 or something like that, which was as significant as the victory in Bahrain, actually more significant, because that really was, I'd hit kind of a rock bottom.
That's June,
and came back and won that, which was one of the most satisfying moments in my career. Hold the monster putt on 18 for eagle at Carlton House, I think it was. And then was slowly digging myself out of that hole. I won in 14 in Holland at the Dutch.
Right. Yeah.
And at that point, but I still wasn't able to get my game back where I really wanted it to be. I was still outside the top 50, just became a dad. And that's when I said I can't play both tours, because the rules at that time of having to play a certain number of events on both tours, it was just unfortunately impossible. So I said I can't do it. So I politely, in fact I didn't even say I sort of can't do it, I just politely didn't renew my membership. Didn't try to cause a fuss or anything, with the sole goal of trying to get my golf game back where I needed to be. And if you're going to focus on my home being in the US, I needed to focus in the US and then come back to Europe. And luckily that worked. Luckily I got it back. And yeah, I missed things like the Ryder Cup, Darren Clarke's Ryder Cup. And,
I was just about to was that ever, that must have been on your mind?
Yeah, that was it's hard watching friends of yours struggle. Struggle and go through, what is a hostile environment and be beaten when you think maybe I could help. That's hard to watch. I mean, it's hard enough watching golf events that you want to be in anyway. If you skip skip the Masters, or you skip a Wentworth or something like this, or Dubai or something, you look at it and go, God, I wish I was there. But it's another thing watching teammates getting, because look, whoever wins and loses, whoever wins this, if it's not me, with no disrespect, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care, unless it's one of my mates, in which case, great, buy me a drink. But because the following week there's going to be somebody else winning, you don't get so tied up in who wins and loses every week. You can't. It would drive you potty. But a Ryder Cup does. It matters because you've got 2 years of abuse you're going to get from your mates back in the States. So watching that was tough. So that was massive motivation to. And then Thomas, when he became captain or announced as captain, there was a lot of talk behind the scenes between the two of us as to how I rejoined the tour. And
well, let's talk about the Ryder Cup right now. I mean, your record is pretty amazing. You love it. You seem to really enjoy that. Again, we talked about that camaraderie.
Yeah.
It took you back to your college days, probably. Just tell us more about Le Golf National, under Thomas Bjorn.
Best experience I've had on a golf course. Really? Yeah, flat out. That first tee was bonkers. I loved it. Apart from the DJ, I'm not sure about the music he was playing. But I'm not sure we need the Euro pop at like 6 in the morning. But for me, it was amazing. We're isolated as players. All we see is team room, golf course, media centre, that we don't see. So I don't know. Hopefully everybody else's experience was as magical as ours.
Oh, it looked fantastic. It was fantastic.
Because there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I mean, hopefully it was because it's security and buses and all that kind of stuff. But it was the best experience. I mean, playing against that team, which were, they're all great guys, that US team. I mean, that's the thing, the way, golf has become so, global. We're so sort of intertwined and so small that we know everybody so well. So you're playing against this amazing US team that you get along with really well. Obviously you want to beat them. And my team is the most amazing team I've ever been a part of, and a true unit. The other 3 Ryder Cups I played, we all got along great, but not to the level that we did in Paris. That was so close. Really? Yeah, it was so cool.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
What was it Thomas as captain? I mean, he's pretty chilled out, really, isn't he? He can be strong.
No, he's not. He's a nightmare.
Really?
Yeah, he's a shocker. But he was that week. He's
good with people, though.
Yeah, I'll give him so much credit, because I've played a lot of golf with Thomas through the years, and he can be an absolute nightmare on the golf course. And he was able to literally bite his lip and say very little, and that was really, really impressive. It's so easy to overcoach or overmanage. Oh, yeah. Try to do big motivational speeches. He actually said very little, but he allowed our team spirit and our togetherness to grow organically, because we had our previous teams where we've had very, very strong personalities. If you go back a decade or two, teams that only a decade or so, the teams I've been a part of, in the team room, there'll be maybe a couple of key players, amazing, but will take the lead role. Whereas in Paris, we had everybody contributing. We'd have team meetings where we're just sitting on a floor, literally just all of us talking. And that didn't, Tommy would contribute, and then JR and Pulse and, John Rahm. I mean, got rookies contributing. Yeah. And before, you'd never have rookies throwing in their pennies worth. They'd go,
so the dynamic was really special.
Very special.
And how much, so Wisconsin next year, how much is that on your mind, on your radar? How much do you want to be there?
Oh, you always want to be there. Winning in the US has become very difficult. I certainly think that the 13th man is becoming a big factor. So Paris, certainly that was our kind of 13th man, our advantage, and Wisconsin's going to be their advantage. You can't play that down. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. I hope our team is as. I wish we could just take the same team, either the same form, literally take that team as they were in Paris and just plant them there. And I think, yeah, we'd probably win, but it's not going to happen. There's so much time between now and then. Who's going to be on the team? What's the form going to be like?
And let's just also, I was just thinking, as one of the stalwarts, one of the experienced players, one of the best you are, you know, your record of match play is very good. Playing in 2004, 6, and then 18. Can you take that, do you need that experience?
I love the fact you missed out 8 because we lost in 8.
Well, let's talk about the wins. But that experience, how important is that then? Especially to have you guys, you know, you and various others in the team for that hostile atmosphere.
It's imperative. I think it's maybe more important when we go to the US to have that experience.
It's so difficult to be a rookie, isn't it, on American soil?
I was a rookie on American soil. Langer was my captain, Oakland Hills 04.
That's right.
It's so difficult.
Why? Because of that, as you say, that
yeah, but I'd played a lot in the US and lived in the US, so I kind of knew what to expect. It was bad enough for the guys in Paris. I mean, you know, walking from that practice ground over the bridge into that arena at Paris would have been daunting, but they've got no idea what it's going to be like in Whistling Straits, or then Bethpage in another few years. I mean, it's going to be insane.
But that hostility, you know, at the same time, it makes the Ryder Cup.
Oh, no, without question.
That atmosphere.
Yeah, it's not a negative. It's just, and that's what every athlete faces. I mean, whether that's a derby football match or whatever it is, that's part of sport. That's what you face. Like I went to Wimbledon this year, and it was like 99.9% of the people in that grandstand were all Federer fans. It was. You know, it was hostile for Djokovic. That's just the way it is. That's sport. There's home field advantage. But yeah, so it's, and you wouldn't want it any other way, because if everybody was quiet.
Yeah. It would be boring.
Yeah.
Just before we get off the Ryder Cup, tell us about that hole-in-one back in 2006.
14th hole of the K Club, 233 yards, 4-iron, playing with David Howe. What were we? We were about 5 up, Dormy 5 up or something like that. And yeah, I binned it. So,
could you believe it?
No, it was, we had total control of the match. Obviously we were Dormy, and it's just one of the coolest moments to hit that shot. Couldn't quite see it go in because it's just a little rise and falls off towards the back there, so couldn't see the ball going, but obviously with the reaction of the crowd we knew it went in. And then just to turn around and see like Zach Johnson's face of just like this, actually probably more like, thank God this match is over. Surreal, yeah, really surreal. I feel very fortunate to have had a Ryder Cup moment. I mean, everybody wants the winning putt, everybody remembers McGinley or Keimer. These classic sort of 18th hole moments, Torrance at Belfry, that sort of stuff. Yeah, Lathabao dancing on the green at, was that Muirfield Village?
I think
that sort of stuff.
I mean,
those things are ingrained. I mean, mine's not as iconic as these other guys, but it's still a moment in the Ryder Cup,
of course,
which is very, very cool. So I feel privileged to have had a cool, memorable moment.
Absolutely. And just tell us more about, so at the moment, how happy are you with your current form at the moment, the way things are going?
See, the worry thing comes back again.
Why? Why is that?
I don't think about it, and for me every week is a challenge and work.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even when you're winning?
Oh no, I like it. Don't confuse
the
that
way
with,
that you.
It's just the way I operate.
And you're obviously, the family are in America, aren't they? So when you're over here on the European tour, how difficult is that for you, or is that? Can you concentrate more, or?
It's yes, and my wife. I'm not saying my wife would agree. So I'm not.
said anything wrong.
She does. She won't listen to this because she doesn't listen. But she wouldn't get upset with me saying that. Yeah, it can be a distraction. The kids being there. Sometimes it's a good distraction, but more often than not, I spend most of my time doing this by myself, and so when the kids are there, it's not the same. Logistics all change, and it's fun for them to come out here and experience this and see. They're still young. I mean, they're 5 and 2, but ultimately, they're going to get a lot more out of. They're in school, so they've got to be home. They love a routine, and you need to do your thing, and let them do theirs. But yeah, it's different things like the Open Championship, where it's summer holidays, so you can get them out. But like the rest of the year, they've got to be in school.
But you defended the Valspar.
Yes.
You've had a great year.
Yeah, and then Porsche.
Absolutely.
A few weeks ago.
In Germany. You say you worry. You because you are so competitive. This week, here in Italy, what's your mindset like? How are you feeling?
I guess you're calling me out slightly because I'm fairly relaxed this week. I had a lovely bottle of wine last night.
You seem very relaxed. Well, you're in Italy. Why not?
Pork shank last night, beef carpaccio. Yeah, I guess I haven't quite figured out what I need to worry about yet this week.
Maybe there's nothing.
It's a good golf course. It's a challenging golf course. We've got a solid, really, really solid field. Guys like Rosie here this week and Shane Lowry. We've got a bunch of world ranking points to try and win. What am I worried about? I mean, I was vocal a few weeks ago and said, my goal, probably one of my biggest goals of my career will be next year making the Olympic team. Try to make the Olympic team if I can for Great Britain. So for me, every single week is important because world ranking points. I can pretty much guarantee you'll be there if you're top 15, because if you're top 15, they can take up to 4 guys. Otherwise, they'll take 2.
How did you feel about the Olympic team 4 years ago?
Oh, I wanted to make it, but didn't. It was obviously Rosie and Danny Willett, and I didn't.
So does that make you even hungrier?
Yeah, and seeing what that's done to, certainly Rosie, but Henrik and Cooch winning all 3, those guys winning the medals. Yeah, I mean every week there's a tournament, but it's only every 4 years for an Olympics. So it's something. A lot of guys kind of poo-pooed it and were like, nah, it's not going to mean anything, or it doesn't mean anything. What a load of rubbish. Why are we doing this? And look, I'm not going to get into that debate whether golf should be in the Olympics. But it is in the Olympics, and it's not my choice whether it should be or not. But now it's in there. Yeah, damn right, I'd love a medal. And even just to represent Great Britain would be probably one of the coolest things I could ever do in my career. I'll be 43 at that stage, so wandering around the athlete village, feeling like a total old man.
Not at all. Not at all. Experienced. So next year Olympics.
Luckily, I could probably, I could go to the gym and I look all right, so that's okay.
You look Don't be silly. I mean, but so next year Olympics. What about major success?
Yeah, that's always down there, and that's I've not had any, and I don't dwell on that, and it doesn't bother me. And if my career ends and I don't have one, I don't.
Really?
It's not gonna eat at me.
Because a lot of golfers would say it does. Why would you say it doesn't?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of my friends who have won majors and are not that happy.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you are put on a pedestal. Would you say? So then and they feel they've got to keep up with. So if your game drops off a bit.
Yeah, but these guys, a lot of these guys have woken up the next morning and it's like, is that it?
Really?
And then 6 months later, it's like, yeah, really, is that it? Kind of thing. And then it's what's fulfilling. Now, I don't know how I would feel, and hopefully I get to experience that. And just as certain victories in my career have been highly enjoyable and meant a lot, and I'd like to think that, if I win one next year, then that would be elevated above kind of defending Valspar, all those key victories like Ireland and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Because you like Augusta, don't you? You play
love
well on
Augusta.
Augusta National. I mean, it's stunning, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, it suits my game.
It suits your game.
You've
had some good finishes there. I mean, would that be one that you... Surely you'd take a green jacket.
Of course, I'd take any of them. I'd take any of them. I mean, I could rank them, but I would take any of them.
Would you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love a green jacket. I love that golf course. Yeah, it's just everything about that. That's kind of...
It's a special tournament, isn't it?
It is something, yeah.
So, well, what in the year it could be next year? Olympics, Ryder Cup, Masters?
Yeah, just tick all three of those things
off.
Should
we
just
say yes to all of these? Anything else?
I might quit in 21. I might just stop.
Well, you might have it all. You nearly have it all. No, listen, Paul, incredible. Thank you so much for talking to us. So before you go, Paul, we're going to do our Hilton quick 9.
Okay.
Don't overthink it. It's not scary. It's quite fun. Ready?
I've never been accused of overthinking anything.
Really? Right, here we go. First thing in your suitcase.
Like when I start putting stuff in?
What's the first thing?
I actually lay it all out, but then it's the golf clothes that go in first. It's actually trousers first.
So it's at the bottom?
Yes.
Trousers.
On the left-hand side of the case, I start from the left. Yeah.
Interesting. Ooh, what goes on the right?
Shoes.
Shoes. Right, so clothes, shoes. Right. Number 2, favourite club in the bag?
Driver.
Where was your last holiday?
Holiday, what's that?
Proper, I know.
What's that?
Where was your last proper break with a family or friends? Or
I was in Italy with friends, so my last holiday was a boys' holiday in Lake Garda.
Lake Garda,
on
holiday.
a boat, yes.
Oh dear. Brilliant?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. Question 4, favourite hole in golf? That's a difficult one.
I actually love I still love the first hole at St Andrews.
How wonderful.
I would say the 18th because you're looking back up 18 towards the thing, but I actually like the first hole better. Something
Why?
about, I don't know.
The history.
It's an easy tee shot as well. Yeah, it's something about it. It's just the one place. It's just so every time I play it, it's such a straightforward hole, but so simple.
That's great. Good answer. Favourite course then? Is it St Andrews?
It's certainly no, but it's one of my top 3 because it's different every day. You can play it in all conditions. You'd be locked up if you designed anything like that nowadays. They would put you in a straitjacket. Favourite course? I will go with probably. I like sunshine. I'm going with Royal Melbourne.
Royal Melbourne. Lovely. One place on your bucket list?
To visit?
Yeah.
I have.
Because you've been everywhere pretty much, haven't you?
Yeah, but one place I've never been to New Zealand.
I desperately want to go there as well, I have to say. New Zealand. We need to get some more golf there, don't we?
Yes, we do.
That has to happen. Best shot you've ever hit? Was it the hole-in-one in 2006?
No.
No!
Well, it was good.
It was good.
Best shot I've ever hit in golf.
I guess what it means as well.
Yeah, I think a couple of spring to mind. I mean, like my birdie putt on 18 at Glen Eagles to win my first tournament. But I will go with the most nervous I've ever been, and I hit the fairway, was the first tee shot at Oakland Hills in the Ryder Cup in 2004. I was absolutely shaking.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, number 8. We're nearly there. If you weren't a golfer, what would you have been? It would have been a sportsman of some sort.
Probably a bad, unemployed racing driver. Or if it had to be a serious job, is there such thing as a serious job?
What were you good at school?
I was actually quite artistic. It probably would have been graphic design or something like that.
Yes, I wanted to be one of those, yeah. Back in the day. Graphic designer. Let's go with that one. And finally, who would make up your dream 4-ball, dead or alive?
Ooh.
Have you ever thought about this before?
Yeah, but it keeps changing.
Does it?
Yeah.
Go on.
Because sort of I would go with the the golfer group, and I'd go with sort of Seve and old Tom Morris
Legends.
and probably Mr. Palmer.
Yeah.
Or then I'd go with, the other day we were talking about, comedians. We were actually talking about American comedians. It would have been like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and Robin Williams or something.
Fantastic.
So,
none of them played golf.
Well, who
Billy
cares?
Crystal,
Oh, you didn't have to say.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah. So I don't. The cast of Monty Python.
So should we go with that?
Yeah.
You and the cast of Monty Python.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good answer.
John Cleese and all the rest of it.
Hilton, quick 9. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you.
Incredible. That was brilliant.
To watch another European Tour video, click here. Or to subscribe, click here.